Yeah, Pratyusha, shall we get started?
Yeah, I was just waiting for Ajay to give us a go ahead if the webinar is live on YouTube.
Yeah, it's live.
Okay. So hello everyone. Good evening. My name is Pratyusha. I would like to welcome all of you to today's webinar on the importance of NSQF levels in skill education. This is in the context of NEP 2020 implementation. So the webinar will delve deeper into the significance of NSQF levels and the impact of this NSQF levels in the future of skill development in India. So let me introduce you to the facilitator of our today's webinar, Dr. Madhuri Dubey, who is the founder director of National Skills Network, a digital platform which is dedicated to bridging the gap between industry and academia by promoting the positive impact of skilling and vocational education. From the past 9 years, Dr. Dubey has over 25 years of experience in multiple areas, including training, curriculum designing, along with her research in education policy and curriculum studies. So, without further delay, let's get into the webinar and hear from our facilitator. So, over to you, Dr. Dubey.
Thank you, Pratyusha. And thank you all for registering. And I also welcome all of you who are watching us live on YouTube. I hope you are able to see the screen I've just shared. And thank you, everybody from Team NSN. We have been continuously working very hard for making these webinars a success, and we are very excited to see the kind of response we are getting. So thanks once again, and let me get started. So as you know, the topic is very useful for the present day changes that are happening in the skilling and education ecosystem. As you know, we are undergoing a lot of changes with NEP and with the uh, mandate we have to bring skilling and general education closer, that is the academic education closer. And it's in that context that we felt we should look at NSQF once again because the levels have been revised. I hope you are aware of it. In case you are aware of the revised levels, please use the chat feature here in Zoom and do chat. You do reply in the chat. What is it that you know about the revised levels? It will be nice to know. Let me get started with this example. If you look at the way we learn and the way we work, we have mostly seen that most of us don't follow one straight line kind of a path, right? When we do our studies, it's mostly like a zigzag, crisscrossing. Some of us are able to continuously, go up to a certain level, climb the ladder. Some of us cannot. And there are those who cannot afford to do so. They might have to drop out and they would like to get back. So there are a whole lot of things happening and there are many paths crisscrossing like this. Now, how do we bring them all on track? Like help them out with whatever they have learned. Let's say somebody would have done a course, a proper course till 12th, and got a 12th class certificate. And for someone, they will have a degree certificate, or somebody would have dropped out after 9th, and somebody will have a PhD. So you see, this is the kind of variety of people we have who have a lot of academic qualifications. Um, now, what has happened over the past few years is that we have mostly seen our education system as a climbing the ladder. And this is the kind of perception everybody has, that you have to be academically, very good. And in case you're not, then you drop out of the system, and then we label them as dropouts, or they have to go through some other kind of a course which is not academic, and invariably those courses would be skill based courses. And with that, what we have already done is kind of created more harm than good for the skill based courses by labeling it as the ones which are suitable for those who are not inclined towards academics. So it's a bit of a complex kind of a picture here. And some of the students who drop out due to various reasons could be because of financial reasons, and they have to work. And we have also seen school and higher education as two separate entities till now. And we have not seen much about aligning these two or making it as a continuum or making it more flexible with multidisciplinary kind of approach, or recognizing people's learning through some kind of a creditization rather than marks and grades and scores. So with this backdrop, there are many changes that are happening. I'll quickly give you an example. Like one of the recent news which we came across talks about how UGC is proposing short-term skill development courses for colleges in various subjects. It could be, kind of very industry in-demand kind of courses. And these are courses which have to be designed and framed as per NCRF, which is the National Credit Framework, which is the meta framework for NEP 2020. And indirectly, they will also have to follow NSQF, which is National Skills Qualification Framework. So the moment you talk about work-based learning or skill-based courses, NSQF comes into the picture. Now, before we proceed, let me quickly show you a few differences that I feel are between academic courses and skill-based courses. So please take a look. In case you feel there are more differences, please use the chat feature and share your views. So I feel in terms of goal, academics, as we know, is more theoretical, skill-based is more practical and job-oriented. In terms of structure, we are in academics, we are focusing more on knowledge acquisition, and in skills, it is more of knowledge application. Academic courses, we see them as very long-term. Skill courses are comparatively shorter. And academics, as we know, is an academic qualification, whereas skill-based, the eligibility is always flexible. In academics, if somebody has to do an MA, master's, then has to have a undergraduate degree, right? But we know these things. I'm just trying to set up the context by giving you an overview about how these differences exist. And I also see a very mixed audience for this webinar. So I have to kind of cater to everybody's requirements that they listed when they kind of registered for this webinar. So in many ways, academics and skill-based courses, as you can see, are quite different. And few important and very important differences could be like the industry engagement. So when we talk about academic courses, there is very limited industry engagement, and that too in professional and technical courses, which are like engineering, MBA and others. Whereas in skill-based courses, you cannot think of offering a skill-based course without industry engagement. So this is what is the differences. And in the backdrop of this, what are the challenges we are facing when we offer skill-based courses? Whether it is, a training company which is offering skill-based courses, or ITIs, or polytechnics, or any other institution which is offering short-term skill-based courses, normally we feel there is a dead end after it. They won't be able to do anything much. Especially this used to happen with a lot of ITI courses. What after ITI? Many students were lost. They did not know. But today with NSQF and NCRF, there are new opportunities. And also, no higher education opportunities for vocational students. Then academic learning, as we know, at the same time did not help us for employability. We know that so many of our graduates are still unemployable. And there are a lot of negative perceptions around skilling and vocational education and training, which is mostly because of the social stigma, or whatever we want to call it, which has come because of the socio-historical, cultural reasons in India. And pathways for learning and progression, we really didn't have them for long, but now with NEP, NCRF, NSQF, we see a lot of new things coming up in this area, and it is very exciting. And lack of uniformity in outcomes, equivalence, and mobility. This never existed. That is the reason why we have NSQF and NCRF, NSQF in a revised manner. And informal learning also for a very long time had no scope for certification. And international recognition of Indian qualifications for global mobility was also an issue. So these were the challenges we have been facing. In other words, to summarize, we never had good career pathways or pathways which help us, let's say, for example, from school to higher education. Somebody drops out in school, that person will remain always a dropout. And very few ways, or somebody is not able to complete the undergraduate course and takes a break in between and comes back, then again there is no possibility. So like this, there are many issues which are there. And also equity in terms of giving opportunities to all kinds of students, making it more inclusive, this also was not possible. But today, with the kind of frameworks we are looking at, many things are changing. And since we are discussing NSQF in the revised manner, we have to quickly look at NEP 2020, which is, as a policy, it has given us a lot of provisions, many new interesting ones, among which the integration or mainstreaming of vocational education with academic learning is one of the most prominent recommendations. And towards this end, we from NSN have been doing a lot of work. We are creating awareness through our webinars and workshops. And over the last 4 years, ever since the policy was launched, I think we have been playing a very important role in creating awareness and spreading the message about how the policy is going to bring in a very positive change in our educational ecosystem. The policy has, as you know, several provisions. There are several recommendations, and we should remember that this is just a policy document. It's like a document which is giving us guidelines, and it is giving us ideas to create our own implementation frameworks. The policy never says that you have to implement ABCD as ABCD. No, it is just giving us those provisions and guidelines. That's the reason it's called a policy. And these are some of the important points. One of them being education in India being in the concurrent list. The state also plays a very important role, like the state universities or the state school boards. They can also decide what they want to take from the policy and what they don't want to take. Then to look at the pillars, the guiding pillars of the policy, we have these 5 important pillars, that is access, equity, quality, affordability, and accountability. This also gets connected with NSQF, the revised NSQF. And to summarize the most important idea from the policy, and also the kind of changes that have happened in the skilling and higher education or school education ecosystem in India, especially after the Ministry of Skill Development and the Ministry of Education came together and are started and have started working very closely, we see that there are many changes coming in terms of how to balance the academic learning with skill-based learning and make the courses which are being offered under skill-based or vocational courses NSQF compliant. Now to look at the policy once again, few important points. I'm sure you would have seen the policy or read it. In case you have, kindly share whatever you picked up from the policy in the chat. In case you want to know more about the education policy, you can go to our YouTube channel and there are videos. And also we had done a webinar a few months ago on NEP. You can watch that. And we are also planning to do webinars and workshops in future. You can also register for that. Since the scope of this webinar is only NSQF, I won't be able to go in great depth into the policy provisions. So to summarize the school level, as you might have seen and you must have been working on this, there is 5+3+3+4 kind of a restructuring, which is again aligned to the NSQF levels. And there is also proposal to introduce bagless days, which is already happening in quite a few schools, and mandatory, skill-based or vocational courses in the high school. Most of the CBSE schools are doing it so that students get exposure and they get sensitized. In higher education, again, we are talking about holistic development, multidisciplinary curriculum, flexibility. Holistic as in if you take engineering courses, for example, there is a provision to, or rather a recommendation to bring in, let's say, a holistic development would be bringing in more of humanities kind of subjects, or subjects which are not purely technical, or, for a science course, maybe not purely scientific. So there should be a mix of this. There should be multidisciplinary kind of curriculum with credits which the students can do majors and minors in. And there should also be flexibility. Now, you must have heard that there is a 4-year degree proposal, and few colleges and universities are going ahead with it. And there is also multiple entry and multiple exit, which is known as MEME, wherein the students in the undergraduate level, if they take a break, they can always come back and continue with their undergraduate programs. And all this is targeted towards employability enhancement and entrepreneurship promotion. So these are the important points from the higher education point of view from NEP 2020. So the most important one for today's webinar is to do with reimagining vocational education. That is where NSQF plays a very important role. Now, what has happened after NEP and before or around the setting up of NCVET? I hope you have heard about NCVET, National Council for Vocational Education and Training, which is one of the apex body which is into regulation and quality and various other matters with anything to do with skill-based courses. So all these organizations came together, that is the UGC, CBSE, NCVET, AICT, DGT, and NIOS. So broadly, these two falling under the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Skill Development. When they came together and decided, or rather came up with, along with the sector skill councils, not only them, we have about 38 sector skill councils which are functional today, and each one of them representing various industry sectors like telecom or retail, aerospace, leather, agriculture, beauty, rubber, healthcare. In case you have not gone and learned more about these sector skill councils, I would suggest you go and check out their websites. It's important to know because they give you the industry perspective. So along with these, all these organizations and the sector skill council, there have been few changes, and with these changes, what has happened, let me just go through. Yeah, along with these organizations and the sector skill councils, there are few changes that are introduced in the overall framework for NSQF by revising the levels. And the revision of the level is mapped with the national credit framework. I'll go through each one of them and tell you more as we proceed. So let me now give you a quick overview of what exactly is NSQF. And I have often heard and seen people saying NSQF courses at the school level. NSQF courses are nothing but skill-based courses which are offered at the school level for 9th, 10th, 11th and all, which are basically catering to one particular skill which the students can pick up. And if they want to learn more later in that particular skill, they can do that, or they can use that skill to get into a job. So NSQF, the most important word here is qualification. And qualification is more or less synonymous with this outcome and competency-based framework. So when we say qualification, if somebody has this qualification, it means that you are able to demonstrate a certain level of learning or skills, which is mapped with a competency level. And this demonstration is what is outcome. So it is not theory. It is not like you are able to talk about what it means to do a certain activity. Like, for example, you are working in the electronics sector, let's assume, and you're kind of doing something like repairing a mobile phone. If you are NSQF qualified, if you have an NSQF qualification, you will be able to demonstrate how that mobile phone can be repaired, what are the steps involved, and how to do it efficiently, and various other things. Otherwise, if you are just learning about mobile phone repair without NSQF, then you will only know theory. Okay, mobile phones can be repaired like this. So you might be reading from some, textbook or something. So that's the major difference between outcome-based learning and theoretical learning. So this qualification framework organizes qualifications according to a series of levels of knowledge, skills, aptitude, and responsibility, which is another way of putting across the competency in defined learning outcomes. Defined learning outcomes as in what it's a very tangible, something that can be observed and seen at the end. So the learner must be able to demonstrate it, show it, and these qualifications we can acquire through formal, non-formal, informal, any type of learning through academics or vocational or training or skilling or experiential learning. There are many ways to acquire these qualifications. And the most important thing about these qualifications is that one cannot be qualified unless there is an assessment attached to it at a certain level. So remember, assessment is very, very important. So what are the key objectives of NSQF? One, the most important one is to do with integrate and creditize vocational education. Assigning credits to vocational education by mapping it with the levels. I will show you what exactly it means a little later. But please remember that there is a need for us to assign credits and also create scope for integrating that learning so that the person is able to take up a certain learning path, like I showed you right in the beginning. We need those clear paths towards progress, either vertical mobility or horizontal mobility. That is when what happens is and the vocational education or skilling kind of courses that one undergoes. Once all these things fall in place, there will be naturally a lot of regard and respect and recognition for that qualification. Otherwise, mostly it will be seen as something secondary to academic learning. And then prescribe the desired competency levels. This is another objective. So these prescribed competency levels, which are listed in terms of knowledge, skills, aptitude, responsibility, these are mapped with a certain NSQF level, and also not only with the level, but also the credit framework, which also proposes the new set of levels. That's the reason why the NSQF levels are also revised. And one of the objectives is also to facilitate assigning of credit across vocational education from school and higher education. So this is based on the hours of learning, which is another new concept. And hours of learning are again creditized. So let us say a certain course takes about 100 hours. These are notional hours of learning, like an estimated hour of learning. And for those 100 hours of learning, we assign a credit. And from the school, this can be carried forward to higher education. And all this is again based on the credit system and also the assessments, and creditize every type and hour of learning subject to assessment. That's what I was saying. Every type means formal, informal. It could be like, for example, some extracurricular hobbies, for instance, co-curricular activities. It could be performing arts, sports, literary activities, or any volunteering that you do. The way this entire framework is allowing us to creditize is simply incredible. And then establish academic equivalence between vocational and general education, and enable the mobility between the two. That's one of the primary reasons why we have NSQF and the credit framework. And enable multidisciplinarity, multiple entry exit. Yeah, so if we have these qualifications very clearly listed out in terms of levels, it becomes easy to decide whether a person is eligible for a certain course at a certain level. Let us say somebody wants to rejoin BA second year after a gap. Now, after we put this person through an assessment and all that, and that assessment is mapped with NSQF level, then when we know that this person is able to perform, only then we can have this person back into the course. So that's one of the reasons why it is important. And it also is useful for providing flexibility to students and learners for choosing their learning trajectories. So in case somebody wants to change their, change their subjects midway. So like say, for example, there are students who might have joined BSc, okay, undergraduate, or some other course, and then they decide that, after a while, that that is not what they want to do. But by the time they have, spent the amount of time they've spent in that BSc first year, if they appear for the exams and things, and then they get the appropriate credits, as per the levels, which is the skills qualification framework level, or there is another qualification framework called NHEQF for the higher education. Based on these frameworks, the student can always get into another stream and then see if those credits can be used as per the levels, and recognize learning and, through close partnership with industry, and through internships and apprenticeships. So as I was saying earlier also, industry plays a very important role in vocational education. So if we have to kind of give the proper kind of industry aligned curriculum to the students, there is a need to align whatever qualifications are with the industry, and that's the reason sector skill councils also play an important role, and also the other awarding bodies. And that's one of the reasons why NSQF is related to the industry curriculum. And then RPL, a very important aspect where we are talking about recognizing learning which has happened informally. So there also the skill framework is required, the qualification framework. And NSQF also enables international mobility. That's because any international job where the focus is on acquiring a skill, definitely would like to map it with their framework. Like somebody wants to take up a job in, let us say, in UAE or in Germany or some other place, then our framework, should be compatible with their framework. At least there should be some level of 50 to 60% or so of compatibility, so that internationally it helps us to go mobile with these qualifications. And it also helps in promoting lifelong learning and skill development. So how does this competency framework work? So basically, it works with the help of competency levels. And these levels are actually pertaining to the aptitude, the knowledge, and the skill. So basically, these are the three core areas which define any qualification at a certain level. So let me take you through further, and then I'll show you. So as some of you have rightly commented earlier, we had, earlier we had level 1 to 10, and now we have levels 1 to 8. And as you can see, level 1 to 8, when the change has happened, there is an introduction of levels like 2.5 to 3, 3.5 to 4, and 4.5 to 5. There is a band kind of thing given here. And there is a reason why this has been, changed to give these bands, which you can see in the green color. So how many of you are aware of the old framework which had 10 levels, and what was the kind of mapping that happened with those 10 levels? Can you please share the responses in the chat? What was like level 1 corresponding to, or level 2, or level 10? Okay, so these changes have happened from 10 levels to 8 levels because of these frameworks. One is the policy, then the credit framework, which is the meta framework for implementing the policy. Then there is a school curriculum framework, and then national higher education qualification framework. All these frameworks have come into play to change these levels from 10 to 8. But most importantly, it is the National Credit Framework. So now let us go through the background to credit framework. A little bit of understanding of the credit framework is absolutely essential today to understand the NSQF levels. And just for your information, very soon we will also be planning a webinar on the credit framework. So in case that interests you, we will keep you informed so you can join that webinar. So when you look at the learning that happens generally, learning can be put under three categories. One is the academic learning, second is the skill-based learning, and third is the experiential learning. So as we know, academic learning is most common. In fact, in India, education is synonymous with academic learning because we usually feel that one has to go through the rigor of academic learning, at least get a degree, right? That's the perception we have in India, but we also know that the other side of academic learning is that in today's world where many things are changing, we are not able to make our students employable because of various reasons. So there are so many shortcomings with just the academic curriculum. Then the other one is the skill-based learning, which is what we see in terms of short-term courses, government-sponsored courses, funded courses like PMKVY, DDU-GKY, plus ITI kind of technical and vocational courses, polytechnics, right? And there are many other types of courses in skill development, like from apparel industry or tourism industry, industry-specific courses, which are offered by various ministries. So these are courses, again, which have another issue. The problem with these courses, as we just saw, is that most of them become an end in itself, more like a dead end. After that, students are not able to progress further. Like say, for example, I have mostly come across graduates who take up these skill-based courses. Like for instance, I was talking to a few students in a beauty course, and they were doing the beautician course, and almost all of them, 99% were graduates, and most of them were science graduates. And after that beauty course, which was a short-term skilling program, they didn't have a clue about how to proceed further because some of them were very genuinely and passionately interested in pursuing beauty as a career, not only as a career, but also in terms of higher education. So then I told them that, yes, there are some courses which go into the cosmetology or various scientific aspects of beauty, but they were not aware. And so with the new framework, we have scope to bring in all that, higher education in skills and other things. And then experiential learning is another kind of learning. This is mostly informal learning. Like, for example, we have come across many people who learn things on their own. Like very common is there are a lot of people who set up, small restaurants or bakeries or things like this, or set up a small boutique. These are all very skill-based things which they learn on their own, and they are not certified. They are not qualified. They don't know anything about NSQF, but they also become entrepreneurs. And I'm sure you have seen many of them. So this is experiential learning. And with NSQF, we should be able to give them certificates in case they would like to take one. And if they have dropped out of a certain course, or if they had a break, and if they want to continue, they should be able to continue their higher education in that particular area. And whatever skills they have learned, let's say baking skills or any other skills, all these skills can be assigned credits based on assessments. So that is the possibility now. So in other words, National Credit Framework is going to recognize any course that has been completed with a qualification at a given level. And there are three types of credits assigned in three different learning streams. One is academic, vocational, and skills and experiential learning, what I just showed you. National Credit Framework is like an enabling system of regulatory framework for organizations and universities. It's more like a meta framework. It is a framework for implementing another framework. So it works more like an architecture or a structure for implementing NEP. Then it is also helpful and takes care of the seamless integration of credits earned through school and higher education and vocational and skill education. So what it does is that when you assign credits, the credits can be used for, let's say you're gaining some credits through academic courses. The same credits will be recognized if you are pursuing either an academic course after a break, or you are bringing it to a skill-based courses. It's possible. And also for skill-based courses, there is a proposal to recognize the credits which have been earned earlier through, let us say, ITIs or short-term courses. And NCRF also tries to develop a seamless vertical and horizontal mobility between academic and vocational training. Now, this is the kind of table which is providing all the information about what NCRF is. Have you seen this table? Yeah, I can see the comments here. Micro credentials, yes, correct. Yeah, we are talking about micro credentials also, which is like the need of the hour for many skill-based courses. We can talk about it a little later too. So you see, I'm not going to go through the entire framework. As I said, we are planning to do another webinar on this. This is definitely going to take a lot of time, but please look at this highlighted column, which is talking about National Credit Framework, credit levels. It starts with preschool at the bottom, as you can see, and it goes up with preparatory schooling, middle school, secondary, senior secondary, and then undergraduate, 4 years or 3 years, and then postgraduate and up to a doctoral degree. So for all these, there are credit levels assigned. And as you can see, the credit levels go into, for class 8, it is level 2. And then for class 9, it is 2.5. And then class 10 is 3, 11 is 3.5, and 12 is 4. So class 12 is always level 4 from the credit framework. And higher education starts from 4.5 and it goes up to 8, as you can see here. So what has happened with NSQF revised is that all these levels are taken and they are now mapped with the current levels of NSQF. So we don't follow the 1 to 10 level anymore. So whatever new courses are being developed, whatever new qualifications and national occupation standards are being developed, they are all adhering to this kind of a credit level. And you can see here that the number of credits are given, the points are given. We will take this up in some other session, but I just wanted to focus on the credit levels. So in brief, what National Credit Framework is doing is it is helping you through the framework. It is helping you to recognize various types of learning, assign credits, and also help students to add all these credits to the academic bank of credits, which is a digital facility where students can put all their credits in the academic bank of credits and use it as and when they need to. And very briefly about how the credits are assigned, like 1 credit of theory is equal to 15 hours of learning, 1 practical credit is equal to 30 hours of learning, and experiential learning, it has a credit, 1 credit is equal to 45 hours of learning. Basically, this is the kind of notional learning hours which are given for different kinds of credits. And one has to acquire 1,200 hours per year. That is 1,200 hours of learning per year for a course. And then in turn, the student gets 40 credits. So this is a very, very overview kind of thing, which I wanted to briefly introduce. And this is something NCRF is taking care, as I just showed you, towards bringing in equivalence between various types of learning. So this is the academic bank of credits, as I was telling you. When students acquire credits, it could be either through academic learning or through any kind of informal learning, like you see this boy doing some, handloom and craft work here. So when these people are, like when the handloom sector skill council or handicraft sector skill council is able to give them credits based on assessing their learning levels, all these also can go into the academic bank of credit. So it is academic, skills, and experiential learning again. Now, NSQF, one of the most important points about NSQF levels is that each NSQF level has a level descriptor, and there are 5 level descriptors. In the old framework, we had level descriptors called process, professional knowledge, professional skill, core skill, and responsibility. In the new framework, we have professional and theoretical knowledge, professional technical skills and expertise, aptitude, mindset, soft skills, etc., and broad learning outcomes and level of responsibility. I will illustrate this and show you what exactly it means. Basically, when these level descriptors are given for every level, remember we spoke about outcome-based learning, which NSQF is talking about. This outcome-based learning has to be shown, demonstrated at a certain efficiency and at a certain kind of a value. So that is what these 5 descriptors try to achieve. Now, for example, we look at retail, automotive, all these industries. How does this thing work? That is, how does the level work? Let us just try to go deeper into it. So as you can see now, the levels go up like this, up to 8 levels. And then level 1 being the lowest, that is from the school level. So if somebody is offering, let us say in CBSE schools, you have the mandate to offer vocational courses. So those courses usually will be at level 3 and 4. Normally, we don't have anything at level 1 and 2. 3 and 4 is the school level courses. And highest level is 7 or 8. Now, the entry can be at level 1, level 3, level 4, or level 6, or any level. But with the new framework, we see that there are these intermediary levels which are introduced. Again, the entry can be at any level. What I mean to say by entry, I mean that there are 3 ways to look at it. One is somebody is already doing a program or a course, like say in the CBSE curriculum. If the student is doing a course in coding, okay, there is a vocational course in coding, or there is a vocational course in hospitality and tourism, or there is a vocational course in beauty, or any of those typical vocational courses we have, they might be doing it at level 3.5 or 3 or so. Okay, but if you look at these other levels, these levels are still valid mostly when we are trying to do this RPL kind of assessment. So, for example, there are people who learn on their own, as I showed you the example of a bakery, right? So let us assume that there is somebody who has learned coding just on his or her own. This person is able to create an app and things like that. And then we want to now see that without any formal learning, how did this person pick up coding skills? So we put them into an assessment, and then we decide if the person is at level 5 or level 4 or whichever level, and accordingly credits and certification is done. But if you look at others, like say, for example, there are construction workers, or there are people, who are at a very lower level, like assistant level. If you assess them in RPL and using such similar kind of formats, you might find them they are at level 2 also, right? Because they might be at a very low level. And from level 2 to level 3, how do you take them? How do you help them progress further? So that is what NSQF helps you in. So I just wanted to share this courses from the CBSE. Since there are many teachers who have registered for this webinar, I thought it would interest them. So these are the courses that are given, and the number of marks are also given here and number of hours are given here. So there is a lot of clarity about what type of courses are available for CBSE students, and all these will be definitely as per NSQF levels. So in other words, what we just saw as the level descriptors, for every competency, you have these 5 level descriptors, which is falling under knowledge, technical skills, employability skills, learning outcome, and responsibility, whichever level you take. If you take level 3, let us say in hospitality sector, in level 3, you are thinking of the competency levels. Then it has to be, the description of that level has to be provided in all these 5 areas. Only then you will be able to clearly put together what is expected from that person at the end of that particular program. So knowledge is mostly professional theoretical knowledge. When we talk about knowledge, one of the key components, the level descriptors knowledge, is mostly professional and theoretical knowledge, which means that if somebody is learning a particular skill, to a certain extent, they have to have theoretical knowledge. Maybe 20% or 30% of the learning should cater to this. So professional knowledge and understanding of that particular level is important. And then technical skills, which is again very, very crucial, and also which is specific to that particular trade or skill. And technical skills would mean professional and technical expertise. Now, to a certain level or certain expertise level, they have to know few things about that particular industry or trade. And with this, what happens is, when they acquire this, they'll be able to apply those skills and perform and accomplish various tasks. So this is the main difference between, as I told you earlier, academic learning and skill-based programs. Here, the focus is always on applying that particular skill, which you learn in a practical setup. And that's the reason practical component becomes very, very important in a skill-based course. And employability skills and aptitude. Any person who is trying to acquire a qualification at any level must have these skills also. That is to do with the kind of aptitude we have, the kind of mindset we have, and the soft skills, and how ready are we for employment, and also to some extent entrepreneurship skills. Entrepreneurship skills are important in skilling framework, because as we know, mostly when many students complete their courses, they would like to set up their own business, and that's where it comes into play. So aptitude and mindset is so crucial today, especially with the kind of behavior. If you take the example of service industry, let us say retail or hospitality, especially, what matters most, I think, is how the person is interacting with the customer. Even before making a sale or doing something, it is how they greet us, how they talk to us, right? So this is where all these employment readiness or employability skills play a very, very important role. And along with that, many 21st century skills are also important, especially today, as we know, digital, financial, all these skills are also crucial. So at any level, for any qualification, this has to be taken care. Then the next one, the fourth one, is learning outcomes. The learning outcomes have to be specified, the broad learning outcomes as per the performance criteria and process orientation. What this means is that as per, let us say, behavioral, like we use, right, behavioral learning, isn't it? Or we try to put it up in something which is tangible, which can be, like we say, smart objectives, or learning outcomes which are tangible, which can be observed and which can be measured and managed. So performance criteria and process orientation is something that is required. And performance criteria also takes care of under what condition this person will be able to demonstrate this learning. So, and the last one here is responsibility. Now, if you look at lower levels of any job, maybe the responsibility levels will be quite low. Like, for example, if you look at an assistant kind of a role, let's say somebody is an assistant technician. The assistant technician or anyone who's doing an assistant kind of a role need not be very responsible for everything, because he or she is usually taking orders and completing them. The tasks are just completed as they are given to the person. Whereas as the person grows, level after level, they stop working under supervision, and they have to become autonomous, like a team lead. They'll have to take decisions, or a manager, right? So level of responsibility also has to be mentioned. Now, these level descriptors, they give us this broad, general, but, kind of a meaningful indication of the learning outcomes at each level. That is the reason the level descriptors for all the 8 levels are very crucial. So how does it work? It helps us in allocating levels to learning programs and qualifications, enabling comparisons between outcomes of learning, validating and moderation of various qualifications, communicating with learners, tracking, mapping progress, and making entry requirements and recommendations. So to put it in a simple manner, how it helps is that, as we saw just now, I gave you a few examples. It helps us in putting it out very clearly to the student, or to anybody who wants to see, at the end of this level, this person will be able to do a list of things, right? We normally do this for any program, but in skill-based program, it is even more in detail, because here we have to look at the various activities that are going to be performed under various conditions, to what level of expertise, how efficiently, and there are various other parameters that come into play. And when we have the level descriptors clearly written, it helps us also to map the progression, and also see how the learner is progressing, track the progression, monitor, and also uh, tell the learner, okay, you have completed these requirements. Now, if you want to go to the higher level, you need to do this. So it also helps us to kind of articulate actually what is required to progress from level to level. Let me give you another example. So if you look at retail industry, level 3 could be like this. Okay, a job where the assistant retail associate or somebody is able to just take care of probably arranging all the stuff which is there, and taking care of basic customer needs and things. Whereas a level 6 could be this, like a team lead or a manager, right? Now, how do you describe these two levels? They have to be described very differently. And this is where the qualification packs and the national occupation standards and the model curriculum, which are available on the National Qualifications Register website, they come into play. And this is also available with the sector skill councils. So if you go through those documents, you will be able to see how do you describe learning at level 3 for retail or level 6 at retail. Similarly, in the healthcare industry, level 3 could be an assistant nurse, or a bedside assistant or someone, or level 5 could be a senior nurse who needs to have different kinds of skills. Now, here you see at the senior level, both of them are holding things like, they are handling some dashboard numbers and various things. So, which means that their skills also have to improve, which means as they progress in the level, their digital proficiency and their financial literacy, all these things will get added to what their basic skills are. Now, let us look at the level descriptors for all the 5 levels, all the 8 levels. We just saw that these are the 5 level descriptors, which is the professional theoretical knowledge, professional technical skills and expertise, then aptitude, mindset, soft skills, etc. Then broad learning outcomes as per performance criteria, and process orientation, and level of responsibility. Now, if you look at level 1, everything is very, very elementary. Right? As you can see, It is very elementary knowledge, and technical skills are also very confined to that role. You should look at it from level 3. Please ignore 1 and 2. Level 3, you see the range of technical skills are also very basic. And mostly at level 3, level 2.5 to 3, they will have to carry out tasks as per somebody else's instructions. And in terms of responsibility, they have to be accountable, responsible as a junior professional. Now, if you go to level 4, which is 3.5 to 4, they have to have a bit of specialized knowledge. So there you can see the incremental growth, right? There is an incremental growth of what they are supposed to learn in terms of knowledge. And skills also become a bit specialized here. And then their responsibilities, their aptitude and mindset and things will be more or less similar. But then when it comes to learning outcomes and performance criteria, they will be they'll be required to carry out specialized tasks, and level of responsibility is like, they are more of a team leader or a senior person. Now, similarly, level 5, they'll have to have multidisciplinary knowledge, and everything you can see is incrementally growing. And 6 is, as you can see, the 6th level person would be a manager. So the broad learning outcome is also, they should be able to judge few things, take decisions. Like we say, they have to think properly and make a decision based on certain facts. And then they are kind of getting into leadership roles. So everything becomes more and more advanced. So this is how it is: level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, what I just showed you, level 5, 6, 7, and 8. So at every level, there is an incremental change that we see that is very natural for any job role. And what happens is, these levels, the best way to understand is to map them with various job roles. I'll show you a few examples now by going through different websites. But before that, I just thought I'll show you one more example of how it will apply in hospitality industry. If it is level 3, 2.5 to 3, the person would be probably, doing things with hand and helping. And this is the same thing which applies to most of the job roles at level 3. Whereas if you look at level 6, the person would be again giving instructions, managing a small team and things. So this is the kind of hierarchy that you see in various levels. Now, let me quickly take you through various websites just to show you the examples. In between, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. I will be able to look at them. So let me start with these websites. Yeah, I'm sharing my screen again. Yeah, I hope you are able to see the NCVET website here. In case you're not, please let me know. Sometimes my screen hangs and I will not know. So please let me know if there's any problem. So after all that, the points which I shared with you, I need to now show you a few live examples. So let us spend about 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes on this, and see from where you can get lot of authentic and original information about all these frameworks. So I have come to the NCVET website, where you have a lot of information about NSQF. Whatever we just discussed, everything is given here. And you will find something similar, whatever I shared just now. And you can also go to this link, which is showing you the document about NSQF. Lot of information is available here in case you want to know about NSQF. Like all the details which I shared with you regarding the level descriptors and how to use the level descriptors, all that is given here in this document. So we'll share the links with you in a mail. You can take a look. Now, this is the level descriptors, what I shared in my PPT. This is something which is much in detail here. Okay, so you can see that, yeah, these descriptors at level 1, for every description, the details are given here, what it means under level 1, under all the 5 categories, that is the 5 level descriptors, each one is properly detailed here. So since the scope of the webinar doesn't allow me to go much deeper into it, I would definitely like to share this with you, and please feel free to get back to us in case of any query. We can always have a call or a discussion on these. So these are, there are quite a few pages which you can go through like this and understand. Like you can see, the detailing here is, so good that you will be able to visualize exactly what this person will be doing. So in case you are designing a course or you are modifying a course, then what happens is, it becomes easy for you to come here and refer to this. Yeah, and now I'm taking you through the NQR website, where you will find a lot of qualifications. Like when you come to NQR website, it looks like this. And the qualification packs, which are actually giving you the entire curriculum and the entire plan for offering that particular course, and the qualification with multiple national occupation standards. You will find most of them here. There are about 3,500 qualifications across various sectors and multiple job roles. So this is what is very important. And if you click any one of these, you will be able to see, like, for example, I'm clicking life sciences. So under life sciences, you will see these are the qualifications which are given. And if you click any one of them, it will show you more information like this. Yeah, and then there are supporting documents, which is usually a qualification pack and other information is provided here. I've just opened few of them here. This is the assistant technician smartphone hardware. So this falls under the electronics industry and electronics sector skill council. So if you come here, you will see that this is the criteria is given, and then the CITS is the ITI course. That is, it's called CITS, Craftsman Training Scheme. And then you see here, the national occupation standards are given, and other information is also given. And when you come here, you will see the supporting documents. I think I have opened something and kept here. Yes, this is the model curriculum for the assistant technician. So you can see that this curriculum is designed for NSQF level 3. And when you go through these documents, you might find that some of them are giving you credit levels also. Some of them are not giving you credit levels. That's because some of them are yet to be, revised. All these model curriculum, they are like hundreds and hundreds of documents. So if you look at this model curriculum and go inside, you will find everything readily usable. Okay, it is like everything is here. If you decide to offer a course called assistant technician smartphone hardware, then you can just take this and start using it in your college or wherever you're offering this course. Because if you go through the details, you will see that everything is given here very, very clearly. The NSQF level and the minimum qualification, right? And then the entire details about the duration and what are the learning outcomes, what we were discussing, right? The learning outcomes are given here. And then there is also the performance criteria is given. So it is in so much detail that you, as I said, you can just come here and download this and start using. Now, in the same electronics industry, the electronics sector, you have so many of these qualification packs. You can see the NSQF level. Please observe the NSQF level. NSQF level 4, 6, 7, 3. 7 is the degree level. And 4 is the 12th class level. So you can see so many of them here, and some of them are in 3 also. The ones which are given in 3 can also be used in the school level curriculum or for any short-term training program in skilling. Now I'm showing you one more. No, this I've already shown you. And this is the National Occupation Standard for the same thing. Now you can see the performance criteria is given here very clearly. I was showing you the performance criteria earlier, why it is important. If you can read this, I'll just read a couple of them for you so that you get an idea. Performance criteria 1, the person should be able to identify assembly instructions requirements such as process flow, sample, etc. Second performance criteria is this person should be able to interpret job requirements, should be able to coordinate and appropriate team members. Like you see, the person should be able to select appropriate assembly method, appropriate process, and then ionize the liquid crystal display in designated. So this is technical, right? So like this, all the performance criteria are given under different headings. So everything here is again mapped with a certain level, and the assessment criteria is also given here. Now I'm showing you one more, which is from the tourism and hospitality industry. This is the qualification pack for adventure tourism, adventure travel guide. So if there is a job role, like, if you want to offer a course for a job role called adventure travel guide, and as per NSQF level 5, okay, so NSQF level 5 would correspond to basically like the first year of undergraduation in terms of academic learning. But otherwise, it is NSQF level 5. Now, when you come here, you will see the national occupation standards which are applicable. And these occupation standards are the ones which gives you the details about how to kind of break down that particular qualification into the sub roles. Like say there is one particular job role called adventure travel guide. Now, how does this get broken down? Now you can see here. When you break it down, because it is adventure travel guide, you have things like prepare for low altitude trek, conduct low altitude trek, conduct post low altitude trek closure and debrief, assess and mitigate risks in low altitude treks, then communicate with customers and colleagues, follow gender and age sensitive practices. Okay, then maintain safe, healthy hygiene practices. So you can see here that there are many details which are provided for that particular job role. Now, if you go through each one of them, you will see it is further, again, the entry level is also given here. So you can see all the performance criteria. That is the further detailing. So this makes it a very, very learning outcome based kind of a framework. And when all these details are given, you will not be missing out on the practical elements of a particular program. So naturally, when you look into these details, it is definitely not theory. It is everything is pointing out to application of some theoretical principle in using any skill and accomplishing a task. That is what it is showing here. And so you can see the generic skills which are needed, right? And knowledge and understanding. So when these students go and apply for jobs and they get the job, they are almost like job ready. So that is the advantage of all these skills qualifications. So these are some examples which I wanted to show. Now let me see if there are any queries or any questions. Please let me know. Yeah, Rahul, level 5 is like diploma, foundation. Yeah, no, level 7 is not masters. Level 5 is certificate, level 6 is diploma, level 7 is degree. So level 7 or 6.57 is degree, and above that is around, so it is all 0.5, right? So it will be 6.5 and 7 will be masters. So 4.5 to 5 could be a diploma. So you will have to map it like that. I'll quickly show you once again the PPT which I used so that, you know, you will be able to understand it more clearly. Yes, if there are any questions for those of you who are watching us on YouTube, please share your questions. We can look at all the questions right now. So I think I'm sharing my screen. Yeah. So this is, yeah, this is the table. Yes. So to look at the query which Rahul was asking, it would be this here. Class 9 is 3, class 10 is 3.5, 12 is 4, and first year UG is 4.5, and second year UG is 5, and third is 5.5 as per the credit level. And then the PG first is 6, and then the 6.5 and 7. So this is actually mapped with the 4-year honors course. That is the new UG course, which is being proposed and also implemented by many universities now, is the 4-year course. So it is mapped this way with the credit level. Yeah, there is a point about micro credentials. I would like to definitely definitely talk about micro credentials in a brief way. Let me again take the same example of what we see here. Let us say, for example, you know, in the at level 4.5 or level 5, between level 4.5 and 5, you are offering a course in travel and tourism and hospitality. Okay. Now, what we saw just now, right? Something from the tourism and travel and hospitality industry. And today, what is happening is with the super specialization that is happening, a person need not go through the entire level. Okay, like for example, we just saw the qualification pack was at level 5. Maybe the person who's interested in that particular program is not completely interested in the whole program, okay, but wants to do only a certain section, which can be mapped with a national occupation standard. Okay, like for example, this person wants to become a guide for tourism and is specializing in trekking, high altitude trekking. And if the course is about high altitude trekking in general, maybe this person is very, very keen on just learning more about how to handle, customer queries in a certain setup, or is very keen to understand how to handle a certain emergency situation or something in that particular setup. So that becomes a micro credential. A micro credential is something which is very, very focused on a set of skills and which is addressing a subset of a job role. It need not be a complete job role. It can be a subset, but it has to be a fulfilling kind of a requirement for a particular task or for a particular subset of a job role, as I said. So it can also be job role specific, but micro credential is, like we say, the future of learning. Can it be accumulated and awarded as a credit hours? Yes, it is there. There is a document on micro credentials which is available on the NCVT website. It is definitely creditable. It can be creditized, and also depending on the number of hours. Yeah, it is possible because we have a document on micro credentials. In case somebody is interested, you can always go and look at the document. Okay, please share your questions if you have any. Are we getting any questions on YouTube? Yeah, those of you watching on YouTube, do let me know if you have any questions. And also, we would like you to fill the feedback form And for YouTube, I think you can share this in the comments, the feedback form. So Ajay, you can share this form in the YouTube comments. We'd be very happy to get the feedback from you. So before we wind up this presentation, let me also take you through some of the things that we do from NSN, which might be of help to you. Yeah, I'm sharing my screen again. Yeah, this is our website, as you can see. How many of you are familiar with National Skills Network? Please let me know in the chat. Praveen Kumar, yeah, very informative session, covered very briefly. Yes, Mr. Praveen Kumar, this session has to be done in a workshop mode. It is very difficult to complete something to do with NSQF in, let's say, 1 hour, 15 minutes or so. And that too, I have not taken a break also this time. Usually I take a 5 minutes break, but I know that NSQF needs a lot of time. Yes, Rahul, we have changed the logo recently. We are undergoing some branding changes. Good that you observed it. Happy. Yeah, so this is what it is, and our website. And also, we have the e-magazine that we send out every fortnight. So I hope you have subscribed to this. We have been doing this for the last 8.5 to 9 years. We have never missed an edition. So in case you need updates from the skilling ecosystem or the work-based learning ecosystem, as we call, do subscribe to our Skill Times. And this is an online e-magazine. As you can see, it's an online edition. It is also available as a PDF for download. So you can take a look at any edition. In case you want more information, please go and check these. And also we have on our website a lot of resources. For example, if you want to know more about NEP 2020, there are a lot of videos, presentations, articles. All these will help you. We have done a lot of presentations and interviews and conversations with eminent people at the school level also. So take a look at these. This might be of help to you. And then another important thing is, in case you want us to feature your work or your article, please write to us at contact@nationalskillsnetwork.com. So even if you are like, say, for instance, you have a point of view about NSQF, or you want to say something about NEP, right? So in case all these things you want to use our platform to express, you feel free to write to us. Thank you, Aradhana. I'm glad you found it informative. As I said, I would again, I'm repeating, this is just an overview of NSQF. This is not, the kind of timeline in which you can cover this widespread big topic. It needs few hours, and I'll be very happy to do a workshop on this. And in case it interests you, please let us know. We can plan for a workshop of 3 hours where we can go into the details, and we can also try a few things hands-on. How many universities and colleges are providing bvoc? That would be very difficult to tell you, Mr. Samir Chawla, who's watching us on YouTube. The number is very difficult to tell you, but there are quite a few universities and colleges which are offering bvoc courses, in many, many disciplines, starting from Tata Institute of Social Sciences to many other universities. Which have taken up, like there are colleges and universities which are offering in hospitality, healthcare, rubber technology, like Tripura University offers in rubber technology. Yeah, it is, yeah, Medhavi again, Medhavi Skills University offers a lot of bvoc courses. Like there are many universities. So it will be difficult to mention the name. The best thing I would suggest is you can just Google and check, then you will get a list of them. Even there are universities in Gujarat, there is this ITM, I think, yeah, even that offers. So I think almost every state now has this. And please remember, there are every state has a mandate to start a skill university. Okay, and when somebody starts a skill university, naturally they will have a bvoc or similar to bvoc kind of a course. Let me also update you on this since you asked about bvoc. There are many universities and colleges which are offering courses like bvoc but not calling them bvoc. Can you guess why? Can somebody respond to this? Why are these courses, why vocational degree courses are not being called as bvoc and being called as something else? Can anyone please respond? Like you'll come across something like BBA in hospitality, or BBA in something else, or BCom in something. Why do you think so? No, it has nothing to do with UGC. Actually, UGC has always, you know, a kind of attached high value to bvoc courses. Yeah, I think what Akash is saying is correct. See, it is more or less like, one thing is the social angle of vocational still in India, right? It is not that highly regarded. So when you say a degree in in vocational degrees, people are still not very clear what it is about. They will have a lot of questions. If you say BA, BCom, BSc, BE, BTech and all, they will know. Whereas this, they may not know. So that's the reason these NSQF compliant bvoc courses are being renamed, like Media and Entertainment Sector Skill Council, especially. You will see courses like BSc in something to do with media. You will naturally not associate BSc with that, but it is there. So that's one of the things. And now let me come back to NSQF once again. So here, yeah. Yeah, so I would request all of you to kindly go to the last pages of this, I think from 30 onwards. Yeah, so these are the pages. When you come here, and in case like you have any doubt about, let us say, see, the objective of this webinar is not only to provide information, but help you understand the significance and apply this information in whatever you are doing. Now, let us assume you are designing a course, like, because somebody, one of the participants just asked about bvoc, and in case you're designing a bvoc course, and you want to look at all these 5 level descriptors, right? Like say diploma UG, it starts from here, from here. So when you're designing a particular course, what will happen for you there is the vocational element will anyways be there, which will be the primary driver for the course. So the technical part, this part, the range of skills along with specialized skills, you will be very clear on that, because you are clear about designing a course. Let us say you're doing a fashion design or apparel design kind of a course that you have in mind. So this part will be very clear for you, which is the second level descriptor. But the first one, which is to do with the knowledge part, that is where you will have to be very careful about what is the theoretical knowledge you're going to have. To why I'm saying this and why I'm connecting it with, again, bringing it back to the presentation, is that the value of a bvoc program or any skill-based higher education program especially, it's valuable only when the percentage is either 60-40 or 70-30. 60-40, I mean 60 practical, 40 theory, or best is 70 practical, 30 theory. If we don't do that, and if we think that it's a university course and we put up a lot of theory which goes into this first column, then it is not going to help them much. I think the second one is where you have to emphasize more. And then, of course, all the other level descriptors are also important. So when you go and look at the qualification pack on the National Occupation Standard for that particular course, please follow it as it is given, because that has been done after a lot of industry interaction, and all the groundwork is already done for you. So whatever is being suggested as per the NSQF level in that document, like these documents I'm talking about, what I showed you, please follow this as is. And this is level 4, right? If you go to the page which I showed you, the NQR page, you will find mostly so many of them. Like I'll just show you from here, from the home page. If you come down, you'll see all these are NSQF compliant job roles across sectors, which I showed you. And if you come inside this, you can see here. So any one of these also might have curriculum which is compliant with a degree program, which is like level 4, 4.5 to 6, 6.5. So that you will find here. And besides the industry sectors, there are also some other organizations, like for example, Indian Defense Forces. Okay, or you will have like chemicals and petrochemicals, right? Or you will have some other kind of a organization which is not a sector skill council. So these are also organizations which are known as awarding bodies, and there are also universities which have come up with their NSQF compliant curriculum and courseware. So this is, I think, the best resource for you to check whatever is being given. And also, in case you are interested to know more about what are the top industry sectors, I'll be very happy to help you with that info. Like, for example, today, if you look at it, technology, of course, IT related courses are always aspirational. In addition to that, we also have like top sectors are logistics, then we have electronics, and then we also have travel and tourism is always there, which is one of the top sectors. So like this, then you have drone industry, then of course AI ML is there, right? And then you please look at where the jobs are getting created, like media and entertainment is another top sector. So in case you want to offer any courses, you will also have to consider where the jobs are coming from, the in-demand jobs, and then come back to the NSQF framework, and then look at the NSQF details in QP, NOS, etc., which are in demand in compliance with the industry requirements. So with this, I would like to, conclude this presentation, and I don't see any more questions. So there are two things, like we say, in classroom, if there are no questions, it means you understood everything so clearly that there is nothing to ask, or it also means that nothing is understood. But I hope it is the first one. So thank you all for joining us today for this webinar. And I really look forward to be in touch with you. So I showed you our website and what we do. It will be nice if you are also writing back to us and letting us know. And thank you all on YouTube also, whoever has attended. Please let us know your feedback, and do share it in the form. Thanks once again, and goodbye, and have a nice weekend. Thank you.